Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome back to Waves of Thinking by AYTM. My name is Molly Strawn-Carreño. I am joined right now by Shourav Sen. He is the Vice President of Strategic Insights and Analytics at Enterprise Oral Care at Colgate-Palmolive. And this is actually going to be our last session of the day, so thank you all for hanging out with me. You were on an amazing panel, which was very interesting, and there's a couple of really core things that I think were very tangible, very real for a lot of people in the audience that I wanted to explore a bit more with you. One of them being, now that AI is here, everybody talks about how AI is going to make your job so much easier, so much faster. But let's just say you get something done that would have taken you days and it took you a couple hours, and now you're sitting with time. What do you do now when you work in insights with that time?
That's a great problem to have.
Right?
Wish I had it more. But yes, AI has made things more productive, more efficient. And probably the best use of the time is to build up yourself so that you can move up the value chain.
Mm.
And how do you build up yourself? I mean, if you really want to be the people expert in the organization, the person who brings people into the center of business decision making, then the value you can add to yourself is by understanding the business context, understanding that, uh, and I always say this, that your job is to bring people insights. Research is only one way of bringing insights.
Mm.
So if you broaden your mind, and broadening your mind involves doing a lot of things like reading different things, like understanding the context, you would probably add more value as a people expert in the business.
And that leads me to another thing that you talked about, which was that.
Give me a minute. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. We
Yeah.
can cut around it.
Yeah.
The other thing that leads me into the other thing that you mentioned that was really interesting, which was influencing with impact. A lot of times, researchers can struggle to quantify the effort of their work at the bottom line at the top. But you brought up something really interesting, which was how it should be measured on influence. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I think at times we researchers we've loved our methodologies, right? That's
Hmm.
what we grew up on and said that, that was the final reward, doing a great piece of research, doing the analytics properly, used to kind of, used to be what brought us to work every morning. I think what needs to change is a kind of a mindset shift where you are also looking at the impact. In fact, you're looking at the impact that your job does not end. If every researcher thinks, or every insights person rather thinks that my job does not end until and unless I have changed, I have influenced the business decision. So in many cases, we feel, oh, we've done a great presentation. Everybody said, great job done. You go out and you forget about it.
Right.
But real value will be added if you can actually influence a decision, right? The
Hmm.
way strategy consultants do it, right? That how do I how do I ensure change in the organization and that's my end point, rather than the report or the presentation I deliver. That's called influencing with impact. And to do that, you need not just knowledge of, you need to know research, you need to, because otherwise why will people believe you
Right.
if your technical skills are not great, right? But along with that, you need an understanding of the business context. You need an understanding, or you need to understand your stakeholders, and therefore understand how you communicate with them. That's the entire issue of influencing with impact.
And that's what researchers should be doing in all their free time these days
ah,
and moving up the
ah,
value chain.
ah.
Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for
so
joining
much,
me
Molly.
today. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thank you.